Man is a singular creature. He has a set of gifts which make him unique among the animals.
The Converted Man here, and today I'm going to be looking at an argument rather than a specific video. So I'm going to have more of a looser format since I don't have specific points, but just kind of general points to cover. And I'm going to be analyzing the presuppositional apologetics that's offered by some Christian apologists, although other apologists might employ similar methodology. So, number one fallacy is begging the question. It says that Christianity is true and that every other worldview is not true. They're right, everyone else is wrong. So that's begging the question. The second fallacy here is using circular logic. It uses the Bible to prove that the Bible is true. It says, well, the Bible says that there's a God, and because there's a God, we can make sense of the world, and because we can make sense of the world, the Bible is true. That's nothing more than circular logic. It has an appeal to consequence. It argues that without God, the world is unintelligible. We've seen appeals to consequences other places, but I wanted to reinforce for you, appeal to consequence never works, ever. It might be true. Whatever it is, consequence you're appealing to might be the case, but it doesn't matter. What if the world is unintelligible? Then we really should be more skeptical. We shouldn't just believe in God in order to pretend that it is intelligible. Special knowledge. It claims that everyone knows that there's a God. This is perhaps the most obnoxious of the fallacies that this particular argumentation scheme has, but it is not unique to this argumentation scheme. And finally, we have a non sequitur. None of the conclusions follow because the arguments are built upon logical fallacies, so the conclusion just doesn't follow. Now, there's two more potential fallacies, but I can't say that these are definitely what the argument is or has in it, but it seems to be the case, so I can make a really strong case for them, but I'm not saying that they're definitely in here. So I'm just saying they're potential fallacies rather than actual ones. And those seem to be that the entire argumentation scheme itself is built off of the idea of a straw man. The straw man here being that atheists presume that there is no God. And using that straw man, we then go from that straw man, which is already a logical fallacy, to another logical fallacy. Two wrongs make a right. Well, if they're doing it, we're going to do it too. But if you've identified something wrong, then why use it? If you know it's wrong, then you shouldn't use it knowing that it's wrong. That doesn't make it a right. And so it seems that the entire argumentation scheme is based on all of this. Today's grand total is 5 with the addition of 2 potential fallacies on top of that. Presuppositional apologetics doesn't work. It's obnoxious on a social level, and it's illogical as well. And either one of those is enough to turn away people, but I try to set aside the emotions. It is obnoxious on a subjective, personal, social level, but just because it is obnoxious doesn't mean that it's false. The logic is what matters. But really, if you care about winning people to God, then recognize that this doesn't work. It doesn't work on a social level, and it doesn't work on a logical level. Unless and until you produce a logically coherent argument, we must continue to be skeptical of your conclusions.